possibly.
Hello, what's up fam? We are here and it is time for yet another game from iCast, you freaking awesome replays. Up here in the top left hand side in the red representing Mayotte, it's Big Boss Alex. And down here in the bottom right hand side in the blue, it is Aranles. Now of course this is the Assert Dominance Challenge where players had to announce their strategy in the chat to their opponent, preferably at the start of the game. I said bonus points if you kind of just announce tech as you put it down. So you could be like, Spire. 12 pool. You know, you could type whatever the hell you want. I don't know which player. Looks like the Terran player is playing the challenge. Big Boss Alex, he says, so I'll do a default opening. Into some Hellions, maybe. The great part of this challenge is your opponent is never going to believe you're telling the truth. So when you do actually turn out to do the truth, they get double freaked out. Their ego kicks in. They start panicking, go, this guy's trolling me. Can't lose. And they often do freak out, panic, and shit the bed a little bit. Thank you very much, Obliviax and Devon, for the subs, by the way. Welcome to Pigstarcraft, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. Mass Widow Mine into BC transition. Arise is like, shut up, idiot. He's like, this guy's just probably proxy raxing. Like, that's actually, like, if you go to the Zerg, we're going to go to Zerg's camera. You know, he's probably proxy barracking me right now. Better send my overlord to go look, see if there's some barracks over here. I mean, that's what I'd be thinking. If you guys want to get your replays in for next week, of course, the challenge is down and dirty. You can't go past 35 workers. Send submissions to fluxiorsc@gmail.com as an attachment. Only Icyfar is the subject, please. Just one word, Icyfar. Only send one replay. The latest submission is on 11th July. Now, why only one replay? People have asked that a bit recently. It's so that you use a modicum of your own ability to judge not sending in pieces of shit. It basically means if you try 20 games and most of them suck, you actually pick the one that doesn't suck. And this is very important because we love people sending in replays and it's not about skill level. That's not to do with the replay being good or bad. What we like is action, preferably some back and forth or some creative or unique plays. We just like to see the diamond in the rough, you know. It's not necessarily about high value, efficient, perfect control plays. It's about seeing fun games. It's about seeing different games, interesting games, back and forth games. And a lot of people will have one cool, unique play in the middle of a very boring game. And they'll go, but look, there was this cool play. And we go, I mean, that's great. And we do like that play. Unfortunately, it's mired in a whole bunch of nothing. So it's not really what we're looking for because nothing happens for most of the game. There's one great moment where cool shit happens. But for the most part, not that much goes on. So we like people to be a little bit critical. Some people like to send 35 replays in an attachment and go, please choose my best replay. And I go, you do realize this is a volunteer system. We have the lovely Fluxior who volunteers his time every week to pick these replays. And we do try to pick people not in the clan. We do try to pick new names we've never seen before. But as always, it's quality over that. It's even if we get repeat names sometimes because they happen to send in funny replays. And obviously it's all subjective. So yeah, hopefully you guys can get some replays in. We're going to probably pick 5 replays next week, I would imagine. Since 35 drones max is going to be super aggressive games. Probably quite quick, I would imagine. And we'll see how that goes. Now this Zerg player, very slow to get the second and third queen up. But actually, no, already has the second queen there. But I was going to say, really good creep. Oh, and there's already a queen there, spreading creep. And incredibly quick 3 hatch. So really quick on the economy build up initially for Arise, or at least the production. Hasn't really got the economy to back it up yet. But 1 or 2 more rounds of drones and this Zerg is going to explode. Now, up against a 1-base Terran who's building lots of Bernie cars, you definitely want to get some insurance. So yeah, Ling speed's on the way. An incredibly fast carapace upgrade. Oh my lord. Okay, cool. There's a spine at the front, which will help. So command center is going down now, but it was on the high grade. Did we actually spot that command center? Oh yeah, the command center was spotted. So good scouting by the Zerg, actually. This looks like it's diamond, guys. I don't think this is low level. Like they're both spending their money really well. The Zerg definitely is not. I think is a bit uncomfortable with the slow expansion of the Terran, and it's taking a little bit longer to drone up than you would want, because like when you get this quick third hatch, if you drone up really fast, you can really explode. There's so much lava but Arise is taking a little long. I think Arise is struggling to figure out what the Terran's doing, and one big Bernie car run by can turn things massively in the favor of Big Boss Alex. I do like that he called himself Big Boss Alex, by the way. You know someone's a big boss when they call themselves that. It's like my friend Jerry. He actually nicknamed himself Big Dick Jerry, and that's how I know he's hung like a hog. Like, I'm like, he must be. Why else would he name himself that? You know? Same way my friend Ben, when we were little kids, told me that he was a black belt in literally every martial art ever. And, I mean, it must have been true. Otherwise, why else would he have said it? So, Big Boss Alex does get a few workers there. It was only 5. Lots of mining time, though. You could see Arise accidentally pulled some workers off the 3rd by the looks of it. It's a big disruption. Not a lot of kills. Doesn't really find the mark there. But he is Big Boss Alex. So maybe he's just doing a little bit of harassment before he gets deep into the, you know, deeply criminally harassing his Zerg employees. And going, I'm Big Boss Alex. And you're like, okay, I think there should just be a general blanket rule. People in a position of authority probably shouldn't be making that mouth noise. Big Boss Alex is like, what are you talking about? And you're like, oh, this is making me uncomfortable. And he's like, no. Anyways, is that a 2-space gap? I think it's a 2-space gap. I'm worried because you definitely can't fit a tank through there. You might barely be able to fit a tank through here. I think you can fit through here. You definitely can fit through that one. So I think it should be okay. I'm just looking at this base setup. Big Boss Alex is like a one more poorly placed building off not being able to get tanks in and out of his own base. And I really want to see a whole bunch of tanks and Thors just stuck in this corner, let's see. Well, that pops out on the correct side, so I guess that's fine for now anyway. Right now, Big Boss Alex here, not so much about winning the war as he is about ruining the livelihoods of future generations. Let's just create a fucking minefield. Seems really great. Good way to go about things, Big Boss Alex. He's like, well, basically, if me Zerg employee doesn't come out and fucking, you know, party with me and, you know, have a bit of a ski trip to the nightclub, if you know what I'm saying, you know, Colombian skiing, then, you know, maybe I'll just take a shit on your desk. And you're like, what? Big Boss Alex, though, you know, never won. You've just got to go along with what Big Boss Alex says. If he wants to party, you've got to be part of the team. You've got to be his wingman. And you got to tell him how much of a big boss he is, or he does get mad. Mass Widowmine attack coming. Now, Banelings are great versus Widowmines, guys, contrary to popular opinion, but he's giving them time to all spread out. Basically, you want to just send a few Banelings into... He's sending a few Zerglings in. Banelings, go! Now's your chance. This is, like, the best target I've ever seen for Banelings to hit. But Arise here doesn't seem to know that. A lot of players don't. There we go. Get some great hits. Unfortunately, Arise has fucking no units right now. So, despite getting a few Greatling Bane hits here and getting rid of most of these units... Oh, actually, hey, that Widowmine shot dragged on there. The Queens will finally clear this up. That was almost went a lot worse. He's going to lose 1 Queen to that Widowmine. Tank doesn't do a lot of damage to Widowmines, but you know what? Good cleanup there. Mass Widowmine, not really the best frontal attack squad. More of a, like, let's set up traps and kind of run individual mines in and burrow them sort of army. But you know what? He did announce this. So what I wonder is, does Arise remember? The next step is BC, guns. It's going to be Mass Widowmine into BC. But I don't see a starport. I think Big Boss Alex either lied or it's another 10 minutes until he gets to the BC transition. We'll see. Lings and Bane's going to run in. Take out a few Hellbats. Could have been worse. Not sure why they're still running. That is Blue Flame Hellbats. But Arise here doing what a lot of Zerg players do. Most Zergs have a compulsion. After they win a fight on their side of the map, rather than droning up, spreading creep, injecting, and then winning the game, what most Zergs like to do is they get what we call an uncontrollable boner, and then they try to literally just cram it into anything they can. And you go, okay, I mean, sometimes that does win you the game. Don't get me wrong. We've all won a fight and then counterattacked and won. But I do like seeing units just kind of trickle in a few at a time like that, where you can tell they've kind of just F2'd and just clicked on the other side of the map. They're not even looking at it. I'm like, definitely a Zerg player. You can always tell. Zerg players known for defending all game, using the abusive power of queens and creep spread to crush fights. But also known for having no fucking idea how to attack and then throw the game away every time they go on the other side of the map because they're like, I'm actually off creep. Clumping all their stuff up and giving their opponent maximum splash damage. One of Zerg players' favorite things to do. But you know what? Hydras are on the way. One of the the best kind of generic units there. Kind of hard to fuck up a Hydralisk engagement unless you're running up a ramp into splash damage. That being said, there is mass Blue Flame Hellion. I mean, the Hellions don't have good upgrades, but if these Hydras don't have Banelings guarding them, that's going to be hard. Like, you can run up with 20 Hydras. If they run 20 Hellions on top of 20 Hydras, guys, I'll tell you what. Woo, you're going to have a disgusting barbecue party. Hydra's very expensive. Hellion's very cheap as well. And looks like, oh, the Starport started. Ship weapons, second armory, and a Starport. Yeah. BC's up next, guys. Hot diddly damn. Mass Hellbat Widowmine. This is absolutely mad. I love it. Fourth command center's on the way as well. 6 saturation on these bases. Almost too many SCVs, in fact. Well, definitely too many on that base. The more expansions that get up, the better. A few more Bernie cars will go across the map. Now, I think Alex definitely announced the strategy pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. I do think Alex could assert dominance in one of 2 ways. Number 1, take another shit on your opponent's desk. Number 2, announce more strategies, you know? Kind of announce in chat, hey, I'm building these starports. Hey, I'm coming with a Hellion run by. 2-pronged Hellion run by. Just running in, you know, it doesn't speak of the big boss. It speaks a little bit more like Swallow Sadness and Fuck a Giant Fish. You know what I'm saying? So I do think Big Boss Alex could be a little bit more of a big boss over here. It does decide to morph Hellbats. Oh, he's got servos. He's got fucking transformation servos. He's got the quick transform. Of course, enough +1 melee Zerglings do come in and get a bit of a surround there, so they do well. People who've never watched Lonely Island probably going to be very confused, or never listened to any Lonely Island listening to this cast. Oh my god. Look at this attack, guys. I told you. I told you, right? Do you see the way he just fucking clicked his army into his opponent's base? All his Zerglings are in and he went, We can tell this is a good Zerg player because he actually thought about it twice and said, maybe I shouldn't run up there with all me shit without fucking knowing what I'm going into. So a rare moment of realization that it might not be the best idea is going to go for what looks like Hive and maybe these Lurker upgrades, which is actually pretty sick against Hellbat Widowmine. Yeah, Adaptive Talons is on the way. No Seismic Spines just yet. The one thing that worries me for this Zerg player, guys, is we've got +1 weapons done, +1 ship plating on the way. We've got a few starports, all placed terribly, by the way. Look at this. They're all over the shop. But, you know what? Big Boss Alex knows how to actually use control groups, so hats off there. I'm so used to casting low-level games lately. I'm like, oh, shit. He just managed to select starports across multiple screens at once. I'm like, how did he do that? And I'm like, well, Pig, there's this thing called control groups. And I'm like, oh, we haven't seen too many of those in Icyfar recently. Arise cleans up that Hellbat run by. Once again, Big Boss Alex here. I mean, not as much micromanagement as I'd like to see. I feel like Big Boss Alex is kind of making the motions as if he wants to micromanage and nitpick and be like, hey, you're doing your job wrong with these Hellion run-bys, but isn't really getting in there. I feel like maybe the cocaine addiction, the long hours, the partying too hard, starting to affect Big Boss Alex. Seems to just be fucking chilling right now. Oh, you got a scan? Alex? Where's the scan? Oh, a few big mine shots. Is going to need to get that command center out of there. Widowmines versus Lurkers and Banelings. I could not think of a worse unit to defend against this Zerg army. That command center is going to get absolutely destroyed. The SCVs, okay, they do run. At least it's going to take a little while to clear this up, right? But this is so funny. We're just seeing Lurker, Overseer, attack Mass Widow. This is hilarious. That one's going to go down. There are more Overseers back here. The Roach is coming forward. I think Arise might just have it, guys. Actually, no. 5 starports are about to come out. 5 BCs, sorry. There's already 3 out. There's only 9 Hydras here, guys. You know what? Zerg thinks he's won. He comes in. It's time for big boy cattle bruisers to come out. And remember, there's only 60 drones behind this, guys. There is only 60 drones behind this. Very few workers have gone down on both sides. That BC, will he pull it back? Big Boss Alex doesn't even need to. Big Boss Alex doesn't give a shit. I mean, this is basically Honey Badger Terran, man. The Zerg comes in like that poisonous fucking adder. And he says, do I look like I give a shit? I got fucking battlecruisers, mate. Hydra's on the way. Oh, is he going to just teleport in the mace? Absolute Chad teleport there. You've given him 30 seconds to build mass anti-air, and you're still just going to dive on top. Now, The Queens aren't here. The Hydras are kind of trickling in. We've got 1-1 upgrades up against the 2-2 Hydras. Now, those Hydras do have both of their range and movement upgrades. Losing a bit of tech's not the end of the world, but where are the Queens? There are only 4 Queens on the map, which are the unit which normally would pick off these BCs from far away. And there's only one spore there that are helping. A lot of tech going down, and look at this, abusing this area. Oh, Big Boss Alex may, in fact, be a big boss. This is some nice cattle bruising. There is a hive done, but imagine if... Oh, it's waiting for Spire. No, well, what are you doing with your Hydras? Those BCs still there. They're going to come back. Arise, what are you... Oh, I think he assumes they've teleported out. He's like, oh, you wouldn't... Yo, they've probably teleported home. No, they're still there. Make some Vipers and abduct them, buddy. Oh, no. So, Hydras are not bad versus BCs, but you've just got to abduct them and keep the count below like 8 or 9 BCs, and you can kind of just pick them off. But already we're up to 9 BCs, and they've got 2-1 upgrades, soon to be 2-2. Lurker then goes down. The Hydras are going to attack in here. A Lurker and a ton of Hydras run in. Oh, goodbye SCVs. Uh-oh, get out. Big Boss Alex. Big Boss Alex is getting... Uh-oh. Oh my god, the Hydra's on the other side of the map. The Hellions joining in. It's a fucking... Sorry, guys. Hydralist barbecue there. I don't know what I pressed. I pressed something on my keyboard in excitement. Oh my god. I talked earlier about Hellions up against Hydras, right? Well, this Lurker's done a good job, though. He's an absolute savage. He's a Savager, or in fact, a Ravager is underneath me. Behind me, his rank. I know you guys can't see it. What can I say? I'm a bit of a narcissist. I need myself to be visible at all times. Now, there is Mass Corruptor on the way, but I just don't think there's enough bank for Arise, who is going to build as many Corruptors as there are already BCs, with 2-2 upgrades on the way. No flyer attacks at all against 2-2. I mean, these BCs just are going to ruin the Corruptors, man. And these Hellions run in as well. It seems like Arise here, you know, had the warning of the build order. Just didn't quite know how to deal with it. And the mass BC swap, always one that's hard to deal with if the Zerg doesn't have a big enough economy. Corruptor's fantastic against the BCs, but Corruptors are about half the cost. In fact, a little bit less than half, right? 150, 100, whereas a BC is 400, 300. So it's like 2.5 Corruptors per BC, something like that, to get... Actually, it's a little bit more than that even. Yeah, it's almost 3 Corruptors per BC for cost. 3 Corruptors kick the shit out of a BC. But right now we're looking at 0-0 Corruptors versus 2-2 BCs. Yamatos go down. The BCs, first BC falls, but already a ton of Corruptors have gone down now. I'm not sure about the running away like this. If there was a few Cyclones or Mines, it would make a bit of sense. The BCs are just gunning them down though. And that Queen goes down, the Corruptors fall, and just like that, Big Boss Alex asserts dominance in the workplace and does indeed take a giant steaming battlecruiser dump on Arise's desk. Well done, Big Boss Alex. There are very few other ways. I thought it might be one of those games where it did look like the Zerg was doing pretty well. I thought there might be a bit of swallowing sadness when that push came and broke all the Widow Mines, and we saw that even having 2 or 3 tanks behind all those Widow Mines probably would have made that a little bit more solid. Since Widow Mines don't have that much range. You can see here, just like a good boss as well, is of course drinking a full bottle of whiskey in the office after, you know, bullying Arise into quitting. And is now dancing around the desk naked and is trying to demand that Gary the intern goes and fetches him some more drugs from the Darrow on the corner. Big Boss Alex, I'm not sure if he's a good human, but he definitely won this game. Thank you very much for sending us this replay. And, you know, as always, everybody out there apparently seems to be always furiously touching themselves after the opponent loses the game. Like, I enjoy a bit of murder. I enjoy taking out my opponent's units after the game's over a little bit. I think people have watched enough Florencio at this point that they're like, yeah, it's the best part. I'm like, is it? Is it the best part? They're like, yeah. Like, I don't just kill all their units. I kill every building, every lava, every egg, and I have one hand down my pants the whole time I'm doing it. I'm like, okay, that just sounds like a weird, creepy thing. I don't know if that's healthy. I think maybe you should get yourself checked into a mental asylum of some sort. Who knows? Maybe this is a good outlet, guys. Maybe we are providing a place for serial killers and abusers and psychopaths to get it out by being cheesy pieces of shit in StarCraft. Because let's be real, most of us macro players, we do kind of judge people for playing a bit, even games like that where it's not really a cheese, it's just different play. you kind of judge them, right? Like you go like, oh, this guy probably tortures like insects as a kid and animals and stuff. Like you just kind of make an assumption. And I'm not sure if it's backed up by evidence, but like I see someone play like that and I go, yeah, you're probably a bad person. Like, you know, you assume if there's like an old lady who needs help across the road, they go to help her, and then as she goes to put her hand on their arm and they pull back and they go, psych, you think I'm helping you? Ha ha! And they run away. Like, I think they're that level of common decency because they choose a different strategy that involves being proactive. So this might actually reflect more on us as macro players' views on the world rather than that. No, stop that line of thought. That's stupid. Get your replays in for next week, guys. Don't forget to play the challenge. Maximum 35 drones, down and dirty, is the challenge. So, because it's just a challenge. It doesn't actually make you a cheesy player. You're just doing it for the challenge. It's different. So you're not a bad person, I guess. Thanks for the replays, guys. Appreciate the support. We'll see you in the next one.